A very warm welcome, viewers, again. Today, we are going to deal with soft skills, and this time it is adaptability part 4. So, this adaptability number part 4, and before that, we have already completed three parts: soft skills, teamwork, and emotional intelligence. This is number 4, part 4, adaptability. And we are going to learn how to adapt and what is adaptability. In this segment, the topics that we are going to deal are these: what is adaptability, where we have to understand the definition, the rapid pace of change, and we are here going to learn the future shock, the text. This is the name of a book, and what is all about. Way forward, inculcating adaptability, how we can inculcate adaptability. And the last part is right balance, that is the balance between change and constancy. So in this rapid pace of change where world needs faster programs, faster aspects, where you have to adapt yourself, either you are going to adapt or you are going to lose. So in this video, without wasting time, we have to understand step by step, bit by bit, these parts. So first slide that takes us to the definition of adaptability. Adaptability is the capacity of being adapted or making oneself suitable to a situation. Do not mix up with adopt, ADOPT, that is something else. Here, adapt. So, what is it? Making oneself suitable to a situation. It is also applied to a system or a process, and it is a quality of a person. So, if you have the adaptability, you are possessing a quality. See, after Darwin, the evolutionary theories placed a premium on the capacity of certain biological species to adapt and thereby survive in certain changed and hostile circumstances. So, if you have the capability or capacity to adapt, you are going to stay longer, you are going to hold yourself into that critical situation and circumstances. This is what adaptability suggests. This is the basic aspects or definition of adaptability. Hope you have understood. If not, there are certain aspects that still are left. And with examples, when I will proceed, hopefully you will understand all. So let us proceed again. In the next slide, we are going to understand rapid pace of change. So, what is rapid pace of change? One may respond by saying that evolutionary or geological timescales are vast. Just previously, we have learned that previous Darwin, or there are species which are categorized as having the power of adaptability. But one may respond by saying that evolutionary or geological time scales are vast and they do not necessarily become relevant to an individual's lifetime. True, this is true. But it is also true that the major changes in society, economy, and technology are happening at a faster rate than any other earlier period of history. So, if you are looking at today's world, there are a rapid pace of change in economy, in technology, in society, in a larger scale. So it is not that geological timescales are vast and they do not necessarily relevant to an individual's lifetime. It is indeed necessary because the world is changing and this change is taking a faster route. In a 1970 book called The Future Shock, that we have to understand here, Alvin and Heidi Toffler foresee the possibility of shattering stress and disorientation due to a breakneck speed of technological and social change. So, what just I spoke about, there is a technological and social change in the society, and the speed is rapid. Getting the examples, you will understand the speed of this rapid change. The talk called for a general preparedness for such changes. And yes, you have to be prepared for this. In short, such fast and sweeping changes will be inevitable, and our best chances remain our effort to adopt to such changing scenarios. Naturally, These changes are inevitable. You cannot escape these changes because the world is changing. Naturally, you have to change. So, change you cannot escape. So, there are chances that remain our effort to adapt of such changing scenarios. If we have to leave, if we have to go forward, if we have to make ourselves in a better position, then we have to learn how to adapt. There are certain examples. Let us look at them. First commercial desktop computers were sold in mid 1970s, and only in 1982 did Time magazine feature the computer as the machine of the year. Now, see the gap between 1970 and 1982, just 12 years. Within these 12 years, computer becomes the number one most necessary aspect of technology, most significant machine of the year. Second, Google was launched in 1998, and the first iPhone was launched in 2007. Again, look at the time gap. So you can find that the rate at which new and drastic changes are hitting our lives have increased with a simultaneous decrease of the interval at which they are arriving. For example, if something is published in 1990, within 5 or 6 years, because of this rapid change, because of the excessive change in this scenario, in the society, in the political scenario, in the economic scenario, naturally the changes are happening faster. So the time gap is shorter. If it is in 1990, then the whole pace of change we can find within 5 or 6 years. That what exactly is happening here. So Google was launched in 1998, and think the first iPhone was launched in 2007, and now the version is moving to iPhone 15 Pro Plus or something like that. Many of you probably have never seen or drawn a map of a locality on paper to direct somebody somewhere because Google Maps is here. So, what we do not draw a map in paper to guide someone to go somewhere. Rather, we suggest that there is Google Maps. Just open your Google Maps and you can find everything over there. So, there is no need to worry. Similarly, you may not have the mode of vocabulary to describe something to somebody since most of such descriptive occasions have been abolished by Instagram or WhatsApp images. So, what we do rather, we publish things, we describe things either in Facebook or in Instagram or in WhatsApp. The images that replied, the images that we publish describe everything. So there, you need to worry about these things because the society is changing with the changes of technology. The technology is seriously changing. Naturally, there is this rapid pace of change. So, what is the outcome? Way forwarding. And in this part, we need to learn the biggest companies, innovators, and institutions are all vying. That means competing for their shares in that change scenario, and who will win is anybody's guess. We are all in a rat race. So, naturally, every innovator, company, or institutions are competing with each other. However, it can be seen with the current wave of changes that the really efficient survivors of change are the people who are riding high with it. So, if you are neglecting this rapid pace of change, the technological aspects, you are not competing at all. If you are riding with it, if you are adjusting yourself with that, you are adapting with it, then you are going to do something specifically seriously. So these people or these companies or the institutions who are riding with it, who are keeping their pace with it, who are accepting these technological changes, they are moving forward faster. So throughout the 1990s, we have seen biggest business traders in our country in their late 50s joining the computer centers and sharing learning space with college students. So this has to be done. This is inevitable because if you are not taking part in those segments where you need to learn about technology, about computer, about the technological aspects, you are just moving yourself backward. You are not moving forward. So if you have to move forward, if you have to keep your pace, if you have to compete with others, they need to take a way forward movement. You have to adapt with the situations. Many of them were laying their hands on some kind of a desktop computer for the first time in their mid 50s. Now, there are again inevitable results, bad results specifically. It is not just a business or commercial requirement. These people are leading a more fulfilling life by riding on the top of these changes. Practically speaking, many business products, methods, and standards are becoming routinely redundant in a decade because those will not be valuable. So it is almost inevitable that due to this fast changing national and global workplace scenario, a large number of people may actually become jobless in the middle of their career or in their 30s with practically no opening for any of their skill sets because the skill sets that you have may not be at all working with the present scenario. So the present scenario is demanding something else from you. And if you are not doing it at all, if you are not at all acquainted with this, then you are probably going to lose your job. You are going to be fired from your job. Why? Because your skill sets or your soft skill that you have learned, you have acquired, are no longer valuable for this present scenario. So, with the time changing, with the pace of change, you also have to change yourself. Your methods must be changed. Nobody can be rest assured about whose skill sets, knowledge, and workplace will survive and whose will become redundant. Practically true. You are not aware at all. So, on the one hand, it is almost impossible to adapt oneself to this unknown world. And on the other hand, it is almost mandatory that everyone or everybody needs to hone some of the fundamental qualities. So it is not at all easier for us to adapt ourselves into this changing pace or with the changing scenarios, we have to change ourselves. Yes, this is also impossible. Simultaneously, it is true that we have to acquire these fundamental qualities. We have to go through these fundamental qualities in order to be a person appropriately judged in the present scenario. Otherwise, you cannot do it at all. You have to learn. You just don't be a dumbass or you just don't be a fool among people. You just have to adapt yourself to the present situation, to the present scenario, to the set of skills that are demanding. So, in present day situation, if you do not know how to handle a mobile phone, that means an Android, you are no good. Even in teaching profession, you have to understand how to handle a mobile phone because almost everything that you are getting information through WhatsApp. Your social media handle will be improved and simultaneously it will be improved because you have to understand the rules of the world, and the rules of the world says always you have to adapt with the pace change with the present scenario. These qualities, curiosity, capacity to relearn, and a diligent and dedicated attitude to work, needs to be complemented by adaptability to make oneself fit for the changing scenario. Just what I have said. So you need to be curious enough about these things. You have the capacity to relearn and a diligent and dedicated attitude to work. If you think that, yes, I don't know, I don't want anything like this, then again, you are moving yourself backward. So, if you are a good person, if you have a diligent and dedicated attitude towards the work, if you have the curiosity, if you have the capacity to relearn, you are going to learn and you are going to take part in that rat race because this is inevitable. Significantly, we need to understand the right balance. And in the right balance, does it mean that adaptability will lead us to a scenario when nothing matters to us as important? And like a mercenary, we are ready to give up on several years of experience and trade of a particular kind. Does it literally mean? When it comes to the extinction of certain trades, there is still a possibility of sub-skill transfer between unrelated professions and jobs. What does it signify? It signifies, for example, if you are a singer and suddenly you find that your singing capacity doesn't have the same amount of value right now. So, what you can do, you can transfer your skill from the singing to something else. This is the way how you have to adapt. There are lots of examples. There are thousands of people who were previously belonging to certain ideas, to a certain trade. Later on, they moved on to something else. For example, the wicketkeeper like Mike Hunt, see, can still transfer the sports skills to a legendary career of groundsman. Mike Hunt, a former cricketer, went on to serve as the chief curator for almost half a century at Lord's, London. So, what you need to say? Vera Wang, a former figure skater, became an editor at Vogue and eventually a top fashion designer. Can you guess? So, this is how you need to adapt. If you cannot, you will be a lost cause. Now, I am giving you here the website where you can have a list of complete several people, several influential people, like actors, politicians, etc., who have changed their careers from something to something else, from the Brad Pitt to the other people, where you can find that they are not simply acting something else, they transform into something else their capacity, their ability. So, and in that way, they were transformed into something else. So, transferring of skills is significant if you really want to adapt. However, beyond the specifics of an extinct trait, the necessity to switch over are little less. For example, neither professional qualities nor the soft skills we have been discussing so far become redundant in a changed workplace scenario. A team person is preferred in any other organization just as his or her higher emotional quotient, that means EQ, that we have learned in the previous video, emotional intelligence, will be highly valued in any other workplace. Therefore, on the one hand, the quality of superior adaptability will ensure that the person will respond in a swift and open manner to the changed reality. So, if you learn how to adapt, your adaptability will increase also your emotional quotient. And in that way, you can be able to transfer your skills from something to something else. And again, you will judge yourself in a better way. You will behave with the other people in a better way. Now, your response, think about your response that as a person, your response will be swift and open manner. That means open minded to a changed reality, whatever the reality is or will be, you will be changed in that accordance. That means, according to the changed situation, changed reality, you will be changed in the same fashion. On the contrary, his or her adaptability will also allow him or her to hit the right balance between change and fixity by remaining committed to the fundamental qualities. So, if you are remaining yourself to the fundamental qualities that we have learned earlier, you can hit the right balance between what? Change and fixity. So, something is changing, something is going to be fixed. And in that way, your behavior to someone will be changed in the same fashion. And that will be your idea to adapt. That is a sign how we are going to adapt. So it is also true that in a change scenario, nobody knows how you have to behave, how you have to adapt. That is significant. Therefore, this is significant that beyond the specifics of an extinct trait, the necessity to switch over. So there is that extinct trait, and you are going beyond it, the necessity to switch over are little less. It is not necessary all the time that you should switch over from this to that, because sometimes it is also inevitable that whatever your fundamental qualities are that your present situation demands, maybe you are possessing those qualities. So, what you have to do, you have to learn and understand how these qualities are going to help you, and accordingly you are going to behave in that changed situation or in a fixed situation. The fundamental qualities therefore will guide you to do something in a better way. That exactly what is here meant. So let us go to the conclusive part. The conclusion says It may be indicated that adaptability is not only a quality required in professional life. Throughout your life, your social, familial, and personal relations with others will probably bring you in close contact with many people. In the course of such contacts, if you are thoroughly influenced by the stereotypes associated with that person's geographical, racial, linguistic, or religious belonging, then your interaction with that person will remain biased, if not prejudiced. You will be influenced by someone if you follow that someone or the contacts of your list, the stereotypes associated with that person's geographical, racial, linguistic, or religious belonging. If you are following this, then you may be influenced into the same fashion, into that same manner, and maybe you will be biased or you will remain biased. So if you are learning adaptability in that case, maybe you will not be biased, and therefore, adaptability is not only necessary or required in professional life, but also in personal life. So you have to adapt even in your personal life. Not only it is necessary or required in your professional life. Instead, an open mind with superior adaptability will allow you to easily transcend such barriers to have a meaningful interaction with such a person. What it means, therefore, if you are a very good person to adapt, or if your sense of adaptability is brilliant, then you can transfer the biased opinions into something better. The interaction that you are going to have with people, you can, because of your adaptability or the sense of adaptability, you can transfer or you can transcend that meaningful interaction with such a person. If you are learning adaptability, then people's biased methods or ideas may not influence you at all. So, this is what today we learn, the learning adaptability. And it is very significant. So, what we have learned today from this book, I have just brought ideas. There are certain other materials too that I have taken from different sources, but this is our primary source. So you can go through this book, you can go through the video, whatever, it is your choice. You have to adapt. So you need to bring your adaptability. Now, these are the probable questions that may be asked in your examination. Adaptability's definition with a suitable example. Name a thing that you now use every day but can't remember to have seen in your childhood. Who introduced the idea of future shock explained with a suitable example. Questions may be asked in different language. So you again have to learn adaptability because you shouldn't be worried about it because whatever be the questions may be asked with these topics. If you follow the video, you should learn the topics clearly. Even if you have problems, then just go again through the video. Just check this video again and again. You will understand what happens here. So these are the questions that you can prepare for your examinations. And I believe that if, and most significantly, you can bring your own questions too. You can ask me in the comment section whether this question at all be allowed to ask or not, or should you format the questions in that way or not. Yes, it is completely free. You are free to ask. And significantly at the end, thank you very much to check this video, to go through this video again. And watching this video is a pleasure, I believe. Hope this video gives you informations about your necessary requirements. And until the next video comes, the part 5, stay healthy, stay blessed, stay positive. Thank you very much.